Hello one and all, I am Pal of Games, and today I'm bringing you a deck profile for a deck you guys requested, which was Cyber Dragons for the sort of new stuff and all the new support. And to be honest, I've got to tell you ahead of time, there might be an update of this in the future. It's something I've just put together. I've been testing pretty rigorously, but it could be doing with a few tweaks. I feel it might not be completely perfect as it stands, but I hope you enjoy what I've come up with and understand the choices I've made, and maybe you'll agree. If you don't, let me know in the comments your opinions on what there should be and what there shouldn't be, and yeah, we can get a discussion going on it. So I'll go over the cards and then why I picked them. Free Cyber Dragon Dray, 3-star Drawing, 3 Cyber Dragon Zwei, 1 Honest, 2 Summoner Monk, 3 Proto Cyber Dragon, 2 Maxi, 3 Cyber Dragon Core, 2 Effect Valen, that's for monsters, 1 Dark Hole, 2 Power Bond, 3 Double Summon, 3 Cyber Repair Plant, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Limiter Removal, 1 Cybernetic Fusion Support. For traps we just run 3 Cyber Network. So Cyber Dragon's obviously going to be obvious. Cyber Dragon, for those of you who don't know, with it being a new card, you might not be aware of what it does, but when it's normal summon, you can have all Cyber Dragons become level 5. You cannot special summon any monsters during the turn you activate this effect, except machine type monsters. If this card is banished, target 1 Cyber Dragon you control, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects until the end of the turn. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. I feel this is quite an interesting card to have in the deck, as most of the new support I'm really liking. With the exception of Cybernetic Fusion support, I'm not sure how that's going to work at the minute. I'm still testing it. This deck definitely has some potential to be quite a competitive deck. Maybe not completely, obviously, because there's some just really OP decks. Looks like Light Swan's making a return in quite a big way. And as well as Dragon Rulers just being OP as always. So let's move on. Star Drawing, I put this in for draw power because it's something this deck lacks, and just to give that extra on top of that, you know, the ability to go for level 4s and 5s, which is what this deck wants to go for. So if you do go for a special Cyber, you've got an option here to bring it out a level 5, whereas you don't if you've just got Dray here, because he sort of stops the ability to bring out anything other than machine, which is a bit annoying. Moving on, Cyber Dragon Zwei. If this card attacks an opponent's monster, this card gains 300 attack drawn with damage deck. Once per turn, you can reveal 1 spell in your hand to treat it as Cyber Dragon. This card's name is treated as Cyber Dragon while in the grave also. So it's another great Cyber Dragon card. Obviously, it does fall down in terms of needing the spell in your hand, but you're going to do that a lot of the time. But obviously, that's something to keep in mind. I've then run 1 Honest, pretty self-explanatory. I'm running lights, so that's what you're going to want to do. 2 Summoner Monk, I feel it helps the consistency of it, and it allows me to bring out stuff what I might need at the time, like a Cyber Dragon to be able to power bond for something in my hand, say. So, and I feel also you can go for a Star Drawing play and just get some sort of not only deck thinning going, but just in terms of early play with some level 4s, or just to make the deck sort of go succinctly if it in the opening hand it isn't as great as you'd like it to be. I then run 3 Proto Cyber Dragon. I'm not so sure about this at the moment. I'm still working on it, whether this card is worth playing or not. I'm thinking I might toss it out, probably put in some MSTs or something like that. I'm not sure. I might have to test it without them first and see how it goes. Then I run 2 Maxi. It helps with the draw power, like I said before. It's something this deck falls down with, but it's definitely something I feel I can help make quicker, because that's what the problem is with formats. Have just been getting quicker and quicker, and I would love for it to sort of get a better format where it's sort of more strategy. There's less sort of OTKs going. I think at this point it's almost impossible to make that a thing without doing some major banning. But it would be nice to return to a state where that is a possible thing. So I feel there's a lot more strategy involved in the sort of longer formats in terms of how long the games tend to go. Moving on, we've got 3 Cyber Dragon Core. This is probably the star card out of the new Cyber Dragon cards, I would say. just because when it's normal summoned, add one cyber or cybernetic spell or trap from your deck and add it to your hand. So you can sort of cycle through deck in terms of deck thinning with Cyber Repair Plant. Obviously adding Cyber Repair Plant, using Cyber Repair Plant to get another one, sort of cycling through that way, which is quite a nice thing to do. Then Effect Veiler 2, I like 2 of each of these. I think they're quite nice to have. Effect Veiler can really screw up the opponent in terms of how the deck goes. Dark Hole, pretty self-explanatory. Power Bonds, these can be surprise OTKs or just surprise cards out of the blue, especially in combination with Cybernetic Fusion support. In terms of just bringing out Cyber Twin, more often you'll go for Twin than End, I would say, and just going in for the kill when they're not expecting that. So it can be just a one-hit wonder out of nowhere, which is nice. But I'm not sure. I feel 3 is a bit cloggy. That's why I've gone with 2 at the moment. But you know, it's something to keep in mind if you prefer to go in for a Power Bond deck. You may want to sort of take it apart and change it around. Then 3 double summon. I feel it's nice to, especially if you're sort of opening hand, you've got a Dre, you've got a Core. By having that double summon, it gives you so much potential for a first turn play, what you didn't have before. 3 Repair Plant allows you to, like I said, gives you a nice sort of searcher for the deck, which Cyber Dragons have needed for so long. As well as being able to shuffle back in, which to be honest I never use. To be honest, it's just almost a waste of a card to do that. But definitely in terms of adding stuff you're missing is always nice. 1 Foolish. Oh, I've got the Foolish here just to get this going. Because obviously that's the problem. If you draw, say, a not so great hand, it's going to make it hard for you to get going. But Foolish gives you that kickstart with a Cyber Dragon Engrave. Limited removal, pretty self-explanatory. Running Machine, so this card's also another nice way of surprise OTK. And Cybernetic Fusion support, for those of you who don't know its effect, another new card. Pay half your life points once during this turn. If you would fusion summon a machine type fusion monster, you can banish fusion material monsters listed on the fusion material from your side of the field, hand and or graveyard, which is really nice considering that you've got these all act as Cyber Dragons on the field or grave. So it makes it a lot more handy. That's why I'm thinking this isn't so good, because it doesn't have that effect while in the grave. Nevertheless though. And then to finish off the deck, Cyber Network, which is a great card. It's what I've considered swapping these out for, MSTs, because it can be a surprise. It's almost like a return from a different dimension without the half in your cost. Because the effect of this is destroy this card during the 3rd standby phase after activation once per turn. If Cyber Dragon is on the field, you can banish 1 light machine type monster from your deck. When this card on the field is sent to the graveyard, special summon as many of your banished light machine type monsters as possible, and if you do, destroy all spell and traps you control. That's not a problem because you're not going to run traps and you're not going to be wanting to set anything. Those monsters cannot activate their effects. You cannot conduct your battle phase during the turn you activate this. That's why it's quite an interesting card, because I'm thinking you use it at the end phase of your opponent's turn. Boosh, you got all these cards lined up. Do I think it's definitely one of the best cards out of the set in terms of the new Cyber Dragon support, up there with Repair Plant. But I feel that if you leave it till the 3rd standby, they've probably, well, if they destroy it, that's not a problem. That's even nicer for you. But I feel that they have time to prepare against it, like you've seen with the Acid Golem duel. So I would consider putting in MSTs instead of Proto Cyber Dragons. I will be testing that out to see how well that works. That's a change you might want to make if you feel it isn't working fast enough for you. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. And onto the extra deck, 2 Cyber End Dragons and 2 of Cyber Twin. I feel that's enough for the deck. 1 Wind Up Arsenal Zen Mayok. I'm not quite sure on the pronouncing of it. It wouldn't be March, it'd be Mayok, I think. But I've explained this, you know, obviously giving you another machine target. If obviously maybe this card isn't more useful than this in the circumstance. Then I want 1 Tyrus, 1 Adrius, 1 Consider Pallades. Obviously you're running lights. one Shot Fortress, 2 Cyber Dragon Nova, 1 number S39 Utopia 1. This is a new card as well. I really like its effect. So basically you can either do 3 level 4 lights, which I'm unlikely to do, or use Utopia as a target. Just the same way that number C39 Utopia Ray, is it? I think it is, yeah. And that ain't Utopia Ray, it's a Utopia card. I can't think, I'll look it up for you guys what I'm talking about. There it is, yeah, it was Utopia Ray. I was thinking of Utopia Rays here. I was thinking that can't be the same one, but I was right in the first place. So he's got a nice like nuke effect, which is if your opponent's life points are 3,000 or more higher, you can detach 3 materials from this and pay life points so that you have only 10 left. And then destroy all special summon monsters from your opponent's side, and if you do, banish them, then inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each monster banished. This is sort of a endgame thing. Say they've gone out with some JD plays and stuff, so they've got quite a lot of special summoning going. This is going to not only shut them down, but on top of it, their stuff's banished now, so you know, stuff like Michael isn't going to be able to get them back. So I feel he could open up some plays if you're in a sort of dire situation. Obviously I'm running a Utopia, 1 Geared Giant X, which is obviously able to target some machines and bring them to your hand quicker than you'd normally have them. And then finally another new card, Noble Swarm Beelzebub. I would assume that's how you would say it. During your main phase or your own opponent's battle phase, if your opponent's cards in the hand and or on field outnumber yours, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this, destroy all other cards on the field. If you activate this effect, your opponent takes no damage for the rest of the turn. I feel this is a really interesting card. It reminds me a lot of how that level 2 synchro, what syncs during your opponent battle phases, works. Because the combo with that tended to work the same way. And I'd like to show you why I feel that's the case. So if we swiftly go down to it, I can show you what I mean. Yeah, Formula Synchron, that's what I was thinking of. I can't believe I couldn't think of its name. But basically, what would happen with that deck was that they would wait till your turn, have a Formula Synchron and say a TG Cyber Magician, which was a 5, I believe. No, it wasn't Cyber Magician. I can't believe I'm doing this. But I'll show you the combo anyway, just so you know what I'm talking about. TG Hyper Librarian, that's the one I was thinking of. Basically what they do was wait till your turn, you'd make all these plays, and then they'd go, right, I'm going to sync on your turn, because that's what his effect basically did, and into a Black Rose Blow field. He basically can do that without the extra added of needing anything else on the field. Plus he survives, which is even nicer. So I feel he could see a lot of play, and I hope he does. You'll probably see a lot of him. So overall, I'd say his deck's quite fun to play, and it's worth taking a look at. And other than that, I suppose if you've liked this video, I'd like if you could leave a like. Please leave any changes you'd like to see, or any changes you think are better, in the comments below. And other than that, thanks for watching, everyone, and goodbye.